Hello everyone, welcome to our video ministry update for the month of May, where we share with you all that's going on in our lives and our ministry here in the country of Bolivia. This past month, we were able to have a couple of different activities to help train the men that are in our ministry and the men that are preparing to serve the Lord. One of the greatest opportunities that we've ever had is to be able to help people, to help men prepare to serve the Lord. And we've had several new men that have come into our ministry just recently that have a desire to grow, a desire to learn more, and prepare to serve the Lord with their lives. And so that's why every year we have two different activities to help prepare these men for the ministry. And this past month, we were able to have our annual pastor's retreat. And so we had a pastor friend that came from Peru visiting. His name was Jimmy Condori, and was just a great blessing and just a great help to the men here. The Lord's really blessing him and his ministry and his church there in Peru. And we were able to meet together for 3 days. And the focus of the pastor's retreat was on leadership. And that was leadership in 3 different areas of their lives and our lives. First of all, in our personal life, to being a leader, then in our families, and then also in our ministry. And so learning how to be a leader to myself, to be the leader that I should be, and then also obviously being able to lead my family in the things of the Lord, and then of course in the ministry to be the leader that I should be in the ministry, and to also know how to raise up and prepare other leaders in that ministry. And so each morning we had classes all morning, where each day we focused on one of those areas, the first day being personal, the second day being family, the third day being ministry, and then we had lunch together after that. And so we had a great group of pastors that came, even had some pastors from some other churches outside of our ministry that came for that, and it was a great time, and each and every one of them said that it was a great help to them in preparing to serve the Lord in the ministry one day. Then also we took advantage of Pastor Jimmy being here to be able to have a men's retreat from all of our churches and all of our ministry. This is the first time we've ever done anything like that, so we weren't really sure about how the response would be. So what we did is we reserved the camp area, the camp where we usually have our youth camp every year in January, and we reserved it for a day and planned to have classes all day long. And we divided the men up into 3 different groups. Some of them were younger, teenage years. Then some of them were single men, a little bit older, and then the married men. And so in the morning we had 3 classes, 2 separate, and then 1 all together. And then we had lunch together, and we had some games and some fellowship time. And then in the afternoon we had 3 more classes, also 2 separate, and then 1 all together. And it was just a great time. I think it was a great time of fellowship, great time of learning to help strengthen the men of the churches. I think in all we had close to 30 men that came, and so that was just a great blessing. And I think it was a really great blessing to them also. And then now also, now that we're finalizing the purchase of the land, or we finalized the purchase of the land there for the church in Pacata, we've begun the paperwork process on that. And of course, as you can imagine, that process can be very tedious and can take some time. And so we're praying that can be taken care of as quickly as possible so that the church can begin to build their facilities, begin to build their building there, and be able to have services. Their plan right now is to put up just a basic metal structure with a metal roof and within the next couple months, so that they can, within a couple months, be out of the place where we're renting and be able to start having services on the land. Even though it will be open air, they won't have much protection. And so pray for them during that time. Obviously, that's a great challenge, even something that simple for the church and for them. And so pray for them during this transition, pray for them so that they can get that structure up and built. And we just want to say again, thank you so much for everyone who has prayed, everyone who has given to this need, to this project. We just are so amazed at how the Lord has blessed and how He has worked through this whole process, and just to see His hand in all of it. It's been a tremendous blessing. And like we also mentioned, if you are still planning to give but haven't been able to give yet, we just want to let you know that that would still be a great blessing to the church there, because anything that comes in will be used to help them get that basic structure up. They really need a bathroom or a couple of bathrooms there on the land. And then, of course, once they get moved in there, then they're going to begin the actual construction of their building and all the different things that go into that. So if you'd still like to give, or you're planning to give, then don't hesitate. please go ahead and send that in, and we'll make sure that that goes to help them getting the transition taken care of and get over to the new land where they can start having services there and have their church completely established there. The same as before, if you'd like to send to that, you can send it to Vision Baptist Missions Incorporated, care of Bolivia Fund, and that's P.O. Box 647, Dawsonville, Georgia 30534. And so just a couple of prayer requests. If you just continue to pray for us, pray that the Lord will continue to raise up leaders among the men, both in the churches and to serve the Lord. And pray that we can see men strengthened, families strengthened through those men becoming better leaders. Also pray for the men, the new men specifically, that are now working with us and we're helping to train for the ministry, that they can be the future leaders of the ministry here. Then also pray for the paperwork for the churches. We're in the process of 3 different churches doing paperwork of one kind or another. And so that's been requiring a lot of patience for us. And so continue to pray. And for the lawyer that is handling those, that we can begin to see some of those taken care of so we can move forward in the different churches with what they're working on. Then also pray for the church in Pacata, like we said, as they make this transition over to the new land. At the beginning, obviously, it's going to be a challenge, just being in open air. They'll have the wind, the noise, the cold. We're going into wintertime here. So pray for them during that transition, that the Lord will supply all that they need to be able to get there as quickly as possible and continue to be a light there in that community. So thank you so much for everything that you do for us and our ministry here. Obviously, without you, we wouldn't be able to do what the Lord has called us to do. So thank you so much, and Lord bless.